boys and girls. Today we're going to review the letters that we've learned so far, and then we're going to be learning about another new letter. Okay, let's go over the ones we've learned so far, okay? Remember what this letter is? This is the one we did last week, or a couple weeks ago. What is this one? W. W makes the W sound, like in wagon and window and weather. W is for wagon, W, W, W. W is for wagon, W, W, W. And what letter is this one? This is the letter V. Remember what the V sounds like? V, like in violin and vase and Victor the vulture. And what about this one? Remember that letter? This is the letter A. A is for apple, ah, ah, ah. A is for apple, ah, ah, ah. And it also makes the A sound like an Ava. How about this letter? Remember that letter? That's the letter J. J makes the J sound. We have our capital J for Jason and Jesus, and our lowercase j. J makes the J sound, like jam and jar and jelly. How about this one? Remember that one? Yeah, that's the letter U. We have our capital U and our lowercase u. It makes the sound, like in umbrella, or the U sound like in unicorn. And this is the letter T. We have our capital T and our lowercase t. The letter T makes the T sound, like in television and turtle and toothpaste. T is for television, t, t, t. T is for television, t, t, t. And what about this one? There's the letter C. We have our capital C and our lowercase c. The letter C makes the K sound, like in cake and corn and carrots and candy. How about this one? Yeah, that's the letter B. The letter B, we have our capital B for Benjamin and our lowercase b. It makes the B sound, like bus and baby and boy and balloon. B is for bus, B, B, B. B is for bus, B, B, B. What about this letter? Yeah, that's the letter E. We have our capital E for Evelyn and Esme and our lowercase e. The E has two sounds. It makes the E sound like in Easter and eagle, and it also has the S sound, like egg and elephant. E is for egg, eh, eh, eh. E is for egg, eh, eh, eh. And what about that one? This is our letter O. Remember, the letter O looks like a circle. So we have our capital O and our lowercase o. The O has the O sound like in ocean, or the A sound like in octopus. Okay. What about that one? That's the letter D. We have our capital D and our lowercase d. Our D makes the D sound, like duck and daddy and dog and dinosaur. D is for duck, D, D, D. D is for duck, D, D, D. And what about this one? This is the letter P. Okay, we have our capital P, like Penelope Pig, and our lowercase p makes the P sound, P, like in panda and pig and popcorn. P is for panda, P, P, P. P is for panda, P, P, P. And what about that one? That's our letter F. We have our capital F and our lowercase f. F makes the F sound, like fish and fingers and feathers and french fries. What about that one? That's our letter I. We have capital I for for Ivana and ignore, and our lowercase I makes the I sound like ice cream and ice skate, and the I sound like iguana and Ivana. And what about that letter? All right, that's the letter G. We have our capital G for God and our lowercase g. The G makes the G sound, like goat and God and girly, girl and gumdrop. G is for goat, G, G, G. G is for goat, G, G, G. What letter is that one? That's the letter S. S makes the S sound. We have our capital S and our lowercase s. The S sounds like S, like in sandwich and soup and sneakers. S is for sandwich, S, S, S. S is for sandwich, S, S, S. And we learned this letter. This is our capital H and our lowercase h. The H makes the H sound, like house and happy and hallelujah. What about that one? That's the letter L. We have our capital L and our lowercase l. The L makes the O sound, like lion and lace and lollipop. And what about this one? Yeah, that's the Q. Remember, the capital Q looks like an O with a tail, and our lowercase q looks like a G, only it hooks the other way. And the Q makes the qu sound, like quilt and queen and quiet. And that one is the letter M. Okay, we have our capital M and our lowercase m. The M makes the sound, like mitten and mommy and monkeys and marshmallows. M is for mitten, M is for mitten, And this one is the letter K. We have our capital K and our lowercase k. The K also makes the k sound, just like the letter C. K is for kite and kitchen and kangaroo. And how about that one? This is the letter R. We have our capital R and our lowercase r. The R makes the sound, like rope and run and rhinoceros. And how about that one? Yeah, that's the capital N for Nico and Nicolette, and our lowercase n. The N makes the N sound, like nest and noise and nose and necklace. N is for nest, N is for nest, And do you know what this letter is? This is the new letter we're going to be starting with this week. This is the letter X. Now, the X is a very silly letter because it has kind of crazy sounds. The letter X, the capital X, is just a slant this way and a slant this way. And this is the lowercase x. It looks the same thing, only smaller. Now, the X, does anybody know what this thing is? This is a musical instrument. This is called a xylophone. Now, zzz, we know that would probably be the sound for the letter Z, but sometimes when the letter X comes at the beginning of the word, which is very, very rare, it makes the Z sound, the Z sound, like in xylophone. And the letter X can also be at the beginning of something called an X-ray. An X-ray is like a special picture, a special kind of camera, takes special kind of pictures of the bones that are inside your body. So this would be an X-ray of somebody's arm and their hand. That's an X-ray, begins with the letter X. Now, usually the letter X does not come at the beginning of a word. Most of the time we see the letter X, it will be at the end of a word. And right now, we're going to read a book called Foxy, Roxy, okay? And Fox ends with the letter X, okay? We see Foxy, Roxy, and that's who this is here. So we're going to read our story first, and then we'll do it with the song, okay? And there's lots of X words in this book, but most of them are not at the beginning. Okay, we're going to find that out. Okay, here we go. You ready? Okay, it says, Foxy Roxy was a fox who lived in a paper box. Okay, there's her box. So we have fox and box, and they end with the letter X, and it makes that X sound, kind of like a KS sound. X. That's most of the time how we'll hear it. She collected rocks and clocks. What is she going to do with those? Kept them in her dirty socks. She played on her xylophone, now there it is, at the beginning of the word, until she began to moan. Right, and there's Roxy playing on her xylophone there. Makes all kinds of pretty sounds. Roxy had some itchy spots, so she called on Dr. Cox. Okay, there's Dr. Cox. Now, Roxy, see those red spots all over her? I wonder what that is. Dr. Cox was in dismay. We must take a quick X-ray. And there he is, taking an X-ray of Roxy. Dr. Cox, the wise old ox, cried, "Oh no, it's chicken pox." Have any of you ever had chicken pox? Probably not, because most of you have been vaccinated against chicken pox. But chicken pox are these red, itchy spots that are all over your body, and they're super, 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 super itchy. and they drive you crazy because they're so itchy. But you guys don't have to worry about that anymore because you get vaccines against those. Okay, so I'm going to put the music on, and we're going to do this song. This is to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Okay, so just give me a second to get this on, and we'll do it with the music, okay? Okay, here it comes.
There must be a book or a character for letter X somewhere. Oh, sure, it's Foxy Roxy. Let's read about her now.
Foxy Roxy was a fox who lived in a paper box. She collected rocks and clocks, kept them in her dirty socks. She played on her xylophone until she began to moan. Roxy had some itchy spots, so she called on Dr. Cox. Dr. Cox was in dismay. We must take a quick x-ray. Dr. Cox, the wise old ox, cried, "Oh no, it's chicken pox."
I had the chicken pox, so have I.
Foxy Roxy was a fox who lived in a paper box. She collected rocks and clocks, kept them in her dirty socks. She played on her xylophone until she began to moan. Roxy had some itchy spots, so she called on Dr. Cox. Dr. Cox was in dismay. We must take a quick x-ray. Dr. Cox, the wise old ox, cried, "Oh no, it's chicken pox." Okay, we'll do it one more time. You ready?
Kids only.
Foxy Roxy was a fox who lived in a paper box. She collected rocks and clocks, kept them in her dirty socks. She played on her xylophone until she began to moan. Roxy had some itchy spots, so she called on Dr. Cox. Dr. Cox was in dismay. We must take a quick x-ray. Dr. Cox, the wise old ox, cried, "Oh no, it's chicken pox." All right, so we have Foxy Roxy. We're working with, remember I said the letter X, okay? The X can be like xylophone, the Z sound, or an X-ray. Usually it has that X sound, like at the end of words like fox and box and, let's see, okay, there's that xylophone with that Z sound, and Dr. Cox, and there's that X-ray, and chicken pox. Okay, all those things end with that letter X. Now what we're going to do today is we have this paper here with the letter X, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to first go over the letter X. So take your finger first, and we're going to start at the top on the left, and we slant down, and then we go to the right, and we slant again. So it crosses right there in the center, and the lowercase one does the same thing, down and down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be tracing our letter X. Let's take your black crayon first, and we're going to do this little one up here on the top. Okay, this one up here. Let's do this first. Okay, you ready? Okay, just start at the top and slant down and slant down. That's our capital X, and our lowercase x starts in the middle. Slant down, slant down. Now on our big ones here, we're going to be using all of our different colors. Okay, so let's start with your yellow crayon, and we'll do this first. You ready? Okay, start at the top and slant all the way to the bottom, and then we'll do on the other side. Start on the right and slant all the way to the bottom, so you're crossing in the middle. Okay, and let's do our lowercase one the same way. Ready? Slant down, slant down. Okay, let's take your orange crayon now. Okay, take your orange crayon, and we'll do this one next. You ready? Start at the top, and you're going to slant all the way down, go to the top, and slant all the way down. Okay, what letter are we making? The letter X. Okay, let's do the lowercase one the same way. Slant down, slant down. There's our lowercase x. Okay, let's take your red crayon. Can you find your red crayon? Take your red, and we'll do it again. You ready? Slant down, slant down. Okay, there's our capital X and our lowercase x. Slant down, slant down. All right, let's try, how about our green crayon now? Can you take your green crayon? Okay, let's do the green. Let's do it together. Ready? Slant down, slant down. Okay, let's do the lowercase one. Slant down, slant down. Okay, find your blue crayon now. Take your blue crayon, and we'll do it again. Make the letter X. Ready? X, X. And remember, we usually hear it at the end, like the X sound, but sometimes we hear it at the xylophone and in X-ray. Okay, slant down, and we'll do one more. Take your purple crayon, and we'll try it one more time. You ready? Start at the top on the left, slant down, and one more time on the lowercase one, slant down, slant down. Okay, now, down here on the bottom, you see these pictures down here? Okay, we're going to cut these pictures out, and we have 4 things that we hear the letter X in. Now, in xylophone, begins with an X, we hear that Z sound, and then X-ray, we hear the X sound, begins with it, and then fox and ox make that X sound at the end of the word. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to cut these pictures out, and I'll show you an easy way of doing this. You take your scissors, remember thumb in the little hole in the top and your other fingers on the bottom, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to just cut straight across. You see this bottom line here? Go all the way across the paper there, all right? Now see if you can do this very carefully. Go all the way across. Try not to cut your words off. Go all the way across your paper, okay? And now this other one, we're going to go all the way across that one, all the way across, see? Okay, all the way across. All right. So now you have your paper that looks like this. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off these end pieces, and then we're going to do the other lines in between. Okay, so cut off your 2 end pieces. And now we'll cut off the lines in between. Okay, so we're going to be using our pictures of our ox and the fox, and then we have an X-ray and our xylophone. And what you can do, okay, it doesn't matter which one you start with, but what we're going to do is we're going to just take these pictures and we're going to glue and put some glue and put them around our letter X. Okay, so here we have, there's a fox, which we know ends with the letter X, and our xylophone begins with the letter X. So you could put these anywhere you want on your paper. Okay, and we have X-ray begins with the letter X. Put that on here somewhere. And we have an ox, which also ends with the letter X. Okay, so just put that somewhere on your paper also. Okay, so we have fox, ox, those end with the letter X, and xylophone and X-ray begin with the letter X. So what letter are we working with? The letter X. All right, now there's one more thing we're going to do with the letter X today, okay? So let me get that. I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay, here we have, you remember what animal that is? Yeah, that's a fox, okay? Remember we did Foxy, Roxy? Okay, well this is a fox, and we have the letter X. It says X is for fox. So the first thing we're going to do, let's take your black crayon, and we're going to trace the letter X, okay? You're going to start at the top on the left, okay? And let's go slant down, okay? That's your capital X, and we'll do the lowercase x the same way. Start at the dot, slant down, okay? There's our capital X. So it says X is for fox, and you see that the letter X is right there at the end. All right, now what we're going to do on here, we've done these before, we're going to look at all of the letters, and if you have a dotter, you're going to put one dot on your letter X. If you don't have a dotter, then you can just take a crayon, any color, probably not black, okay, because you won't be able to see your letters. And we're going to put a spot on our letter X, okay, so that's the only letter that we're going to be working with today. All right, so if you have a dotter, you'll use a dotter. If not, then take a crayon, okay? It doesn't matter what color you use. I just picked up red. Okay, let's look across, okay? Let's see. Okay, is this an X? Okay, can you see? All right, that's in the letter X, so I'm going to put one spot on there. Okay, and how about that one? Is that an X? No, that's a V. What about this one? That's an I. And is that an X? Yes, that's an X. We're going to put one spot right there. And how about this letter? Look carefully at that one. That's the letter we're going to work on next time, okay? That's actually the letter Y. Okay, what about that? Is that an X? No, that's a P. How about this one? Yes, that's an X. We're going to put a spot on that one. Okay, and what about this letter? Okay, that's actually the lowercase q. All right, let's come up to the head here. Is that an X? Yes, that's a lowercase x. And what about this one? Yes, that's a capital X. We're going to put an X on that one. I mean a spot on that one. And what about this? Is that an X? Yes, put a spot there. And what about this one? Remember what letter that is? That's a capital A. Should we mark it? No. What about this one? That's a capital W. Should we mark it? No. Come down here. Remember this one? That's our lowercase t. We don't want that. And this one is an X. That's our capital X. Good. Put a mark on there. How about this? You remember that letter? That's our lowercase u. And this one? That's a capital G. We don't want those. What about this letter? That's a capital X. Good. Should we mark it? Yes. Put a mark on there. And what about this one? Remember that letter? That's a capital D. Should we put a mark on it? No. How about this one? That's a lowercase x. So let's put a spot on that one. And remember that letter? That's a capital N. What about this one? That's a capital J. Should we mark that? No. What about this one? Yes, that's a lowercase x. And you know this last letter? That's a Z. We're not going to put a mark on that either. Okay, so let's look at what we have so far. Okay, we found our letter X. It says X is for fox. Let's see how many we found. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what letter are we working with? The letter X. Good job.